What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Central Florida spread playbook in College Football 25. This is the Gus Malzahn offense. He's been around for a very long time, one of the spread gurus, done a really good job at Auburn as an offensive coordinator and eventually as a head coach. Now he's a Central Florida. Even though they're not having a good year this season, I still like what he does schematically. I got several of his playbooks over in the vault. And I also have a cheat sheet for this playbook, by the way. I'll leave a link in the description below. But it's just a really good spread playbook with some variety. It's got some option. He's kind of known for running the ball, a lot of play action, a lot of pulling linemen. He's a wing T guy at heart, so you're going to see a lot of pulling guards and tackles and things of that nature. But he also does quite a bit of wildcat and a lot of really neat pre-snap motion built in. It's just some really cool things that I think you'll enjoy. So we're going to go through the formations and concepts and play types and personnel. And hopefully by the end of the video, you'll have a good idea of what this playbook is all about. So let's start off with the formations. Now, everybody knows Malzahn, he's a shotgun guy through and through. We're going to cover these last. I want to go through some of these other ones first. Let's start off with the pistol. We got a pistol full house. That is a 30 personnel formation. And then we got pistol wing. That is 12 personnel. So you go back to full house. There's nothing too exotic in these two formations. It's typical run, play action with a little option built in. You go over to wing, it's kind of the same thing. Run, play action, there's some read option. But what's really neat about those two formations and this single back formation, you got one, it's a 12 personnel look. It is called East. 9 plays. Again, it's just more run, play action, nothing too crazy. However, it's got some good variety of 2 tight end looks in this offense. You got a little bit in the shotgun, you got a little bit in the pistol, you got a little bit of the single back. So if you like that variety of throwing those types of looks at the defense, you definitely could do that here. And you don't need many of them, but at least you got one in single back, one in pistol, and some in the gun. Let's go over to the Wildcat. Now, I don't know if this has the most amount of Wildcat formations in a playbook amongst the entire game. It's got to be up there. We got several. We got Jumbo Z Weak. That is a 13 personnel look, unless they treat that third tight end as a fullback possibly. It just kind of depends on how the game looks at it. But we got a slot flex. This is 11 personnel. And then we got unbalanced. So you go back over to Jumbo Z Weak. When it comes to Wildcat, you kind of know what to expect here. You're just kind of running. You got some passing in here, but it's all about just running with your halfback or the quarterback kind of together, or maybe 2 halfbacks. You're going to see the words power G and GT a lot. If you remember in our USC playbook video, Lincoln Riley likes to do a lot of GT counter type stuff. But anytime you see the letters G or T, they're referring to a guard or tackle pulling. So you see there in power G, it's just your typical guard pulling, but it's not a counter play. And it's not basic power. It's a front side guard pulling for you, which is pretty unique. There's not a lot of playbooks that have this, but this is, again, this is typical Malzahn type stuff he's been using for years. And again, he's a wing T guy at heart. So you're going to see some of that. But again, the rest of this Wildcat, it's as you would expect. You go to slot flex. We got our first pre-snap motion series. We got a jet sweep action. You got a counter, a power, and you got jet touch pass on top of that. You got play action on top of it. You got a reverse, and you got some more. You got motion zone. You got a drop back play, and you got another reverse built in. So some unique type of runs in here. I'm going to call just motion zone here. Let's see if we can make this look good. But again, Wildcat, he was one of the coaches who really emphasized the Wildcat package. And I think when he was the offense coordinator at Arkansas for one season, I think he introduced some of that at the time. That's when he had some really good running backs like Darren McFadden and whatnot, Peyton, what was his name? I forgot. Either way, they had like 3 good running backs. But either way, good motion, pre-snap motion here. You go to unbalanced. Guess what? More jet sweep action right there. So you kind of know what to expect out of your Wildcat. So we've introduced a little bit of pre-snap motion. You're going to see a whole lot more of it once you get into the shotgun. So let's start there. Ace offset. This is 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, your 1 running back. Ace slot, another 12 personnel look. And then another one. You got deuce. Then we head into doubles wild. So before we head in there, again, I just want to reiterate, you got a lot of 12 personnel formations in here. Some from pistol, some from single back, and some from gun. Then we go over to doubles Y off. The rest of this, I'll just go ahead and tell you now, is a lot of 11 personnel. Doubles Y off weak, Y trips, Y off trips weak, double stack. That's still 11 personnel. Again, look at your tight end. He's number 5. He's still out there in this formation. You got stack Y flex, spread Y flex weak, box halfback strong. I think this one and Ohio State are the only ones that have this type of formation, along with this one right here, box offset weak. You got 15 plays there. Then we get into our lone 10 personnel formation in the entire playbook, and that is trio 4 wide receivers strong. And then we head right back to empty trio. That's in another 11 personnel set. So you got a lot of variety. It's all one back based, but you got some 12. You got plenty of 11, and you got the 110 personnel look. So let's go back to ace offset. I always like to look for the pre-snap motion series. It seems like every team out there is using it of some sort, at least on first and second down, that type of thing. And just notice the variety we're going to see here. Starting off with ace offset, we have an X motion on the left with that jet touch pass. We got motion halfback screen over here on the right. That's a Z motion. You keep on going. Does it have any more in this formation? What about ace slots? Do we have any here? Deuce. Here we go. We have our first exit motion series. That's when you got your tight end going out for a wheel route, but it's still pre-snap based. Like I'm going to go ahead and do this RPO over here on the left. See if I can make this look halfway decent. So a pretty interesting play here. But again, I just love this motion stuff. I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to pick up a few yards there, but if you ever can find cover 0 or maybe a cover 1, maybe you can get this one off. Something like that. That's a double team. That's going to get picked. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you, that tight end going out like that. I think that's really interesting. I don't think there's a ton of playbooks that have that type of exit motion with the tight end, but you have it in there if you need it. Let's go to doubles Y off. Here we got some more jet sweep action. You got your jet sweep, your play action, your fake off of that. We got a touch pass. We got a verticals. We got a power. You're going to have some power when you're dealing with Gus Malzahn. Then we got, guess what? More jet sweep. Look at all this. We got at least 9 plays with nothing but jet sweep. You could run an entire offense off this stuff alone. Imagine your first and second, third down. If you can keep it manageable, you can have a whole lot of fun off of this one formation. Pretty cool stuff. Doubles way off weak. Here we have our first slot motion. That's what I'm calling it. It's more jet sweep basic stuff, but you got fakes off of it, play action. You got a little RPO built into it. Really neat there. You go to Y trips. Do we have any here? What about Y off trips? No, Y off trips weak. Here we go. This is our first halfback swing motion in the playbook. We got your basic swing. You got your pump and go. That's your switch concept. And you got a spot as well. Do we have any more in this formation? What about double stack? Normally when you go out to the 4, the true spread looks, you don't have as much motion. We may have some more. I thought I did check that. Here we go. We got another load option. If you like basic speed option, we want a little motion built into that, you can use it. Let's see if I can make this look halfway decent. I tried to pitch it, and he didn't pitch it. I must have done something wrong. Either way, pretty cool. I'm going to see if I can make this look halfway decent. Again, this is like my favorite. There we go. But he got hit as soon as he caught it. Either way, forgive me. I'm doing this live, so none of these are going to look all that great unless I just get lucky in some spots. But either way, you got speed option, a little pre-snap motion there out of that formation. Just want to make sure that was the only one. What about spread Y flex? Do we have any here? Here we go. Yeah, go back. Here we have more motion, halfback swing. You got shallow cross, stick, and Z spot. Some air raid. I love air raid type stuff. I'm going to do this shallow cross. It's been a while since I've called this concept. Just a little window dressing. That's all that is right there. We'll go to the dig. Nice little play. I may get a touchdown, possibly. That's a pretty good play, nonetheless. But if you just want a little window dressing with your air raid, you got a little series right there. Pretty cool. You keep on going. Is that it? Yeah, so box, halfback strong. Again, both this formation and offset weak are this one and the Ohio State playbook are about the ones that have these box formations. But we're starting off with a Z motion over here on the left with mesh rail. I love me some mesh. And we got some more. We got a drag and we got a whip right across. So we still got some more air raid stuff built in here. You go to box offset weak. We got more halfback swing, but this time it's got a built-in angle in it, which is pretty cool. So instead of him just going out for a swing route, he goes out with an angle route. Let's go up against just nickel random. I think they're maybe going cover 1, cover 2. Let's see. I may get picked. Yep, that's a good pick right there. Either way, pretty cool stuff. If you like the angle route, there's not a lot of playbooks in this game that have a ton of halfback angle things, especially something as exotic as his pre-snap motion stuff right here. For trio 4 wide receiver strong. Do we got any here? No, you do. So I got some reverses. You got empty trio. There we go. So we have another slot motion, just another jet sweep play there. And we got another Z motion out of gun empty trio. More mesh. I'm going to go ahead and call this because I just love calling mesh. This has some mesh, is not a ton. Let's see if I can get something going here. Going to pick up decent yard. It's not bad. Pretty cool stuff. So have you noticed how much different types of motion we have in this playbook? We have your Z motion, your X, your slot motion, your halfback swing motion, the exit motion with the tight end. Just a crazy amount of variety, and I really like that. Compared to like the Kentucky playbook we looked at earlier in the previous few days ago, where it's just a lot of jet sweeps. Let's talk about personnel. I've already hinted at some of this. As we've already looked, a lot of this is going to be 11 personnel. Your 23 personnel, this is just your goal line, but you got your Wildcat, they kind of put in its own special section. You got your 3 Wildcat formations. 32, that's your QB kneel. 30 personnel, that's your full house, add a pistol. 21's your clock management, and your 12 personnel is those 2 back sets or 2 tight end sets we looked at earlier, and you got a good variety of them from single back, from pistol, and from the gun. The only little downside, if it is one, you only got one 10 personnel set, and that is this one right here, trio 4 wide receiver strong. All right, let's talk about concepts. Let's go over here to run. Notice the play counts. You're going to have more running, just about as much passing. That's normally not the case, but this is just a very run, play action heavy playbook. Starting off, inside zone as expected. Most of the base of your run game will be inside zone, 18 plays there. You got 8 counters, 1 ISO, and 9 power. So again, if you're going to run it the way Gus Malzahn likes to, he likes to have pulling linemen. So use a lot of power and use some counter built into it. You got 6 draws. You got 6 outside zones. And notice we got some of this pre-snap motion built into it. And you got some sweeps. You got 4 of those. This is more outside zone stuff, if you want to treat it as that. Then we got 4 traps. This is kind of a high number, but again, what do we got? A pulling lineman. That's just what Malzahn likes to do. And we got 9 reverses. So this, if there's anything that makes this playbook different than anything else or any other playbook, we have so many reverses, it's not even funny. I'm going to go ahead and try to use this one. Forgive me if this does not work. Sometimes I don't. Let's see if I can. Nope. I tried to hit the L1 button. I wasn't close enough. I'm going to try this one more time. Hopefully I can make this look. There we go. Yeah, okay, not too bad. I'm going to get caught anyways. But either way, you got plenty of reverses. So this is another reason why you would use this playbook. You got just an absolute ton of them. 9 is a humongous number. Let's talk about option. He is known for option, a lot of read option, things of that nature. So we got 1 inverted veer. You got a couple load options. These are basic speed options. And then you got 17 read options. Now notice we got a nice variety of read options. Let's go back to the top. We got lead options. That's where you got a split back action with a tight end. You also got some GT read option. Not a lot of playbooks have that one. So it's just a different variety of how you want to run read option. Do you want a pulling guard, a tackle, or a tight end? You got plenty of it in here. You got your 2 speeds. You got 1 triple at a pistol. RPOs. So RPOs is kind of a new thing. He didn't run them a whole lot back when he was like at Auburn, but he's using them more now. And we got 8 RPO reads. We got 6 peaks. And we got 12 alerts. That's actually a decent amount of RPOs. I was expecting actually a little bit less than that, but maybe he's just trying to grow his offense a little bit more, modernize it a bit. So if you need your RPOs, you got a good variety of different things in here. I did notice, is it in here or is in the peak? I think it's in the peak, yeah. So you're going to see a lot of wide pop. That's their tight end going over the top. So if I'm going to call this one, let's go up against, hopefully I can pull this off. I'm going against cover 0 on purpose. Let's see if I can get this over the top. Can he get it? Oh, good defense by the safety. Either way, wide pop, you got some of that in there, along with glance routes. You got your peaks, your slants, your bubbles, your screens, things of that nature. Let's talk about quick passes. We got 2 Ohios. We got 1 Omaha. We got 10 slants. And if you're going to have plenty of slant, you're probably going to have plenty of stick. We got 6 stick plays, but the bulk of it's going to be between slant and stick, like with most playbooks in this game. Medium pass, notice we got a little bit of a variety here, but there's not a ton of one thing except usually smash. But we got 5 choices, 10 curls, your hitch, things of that nature. You got 5 double moves. You got 2 drives, 1 level, 5 mesh, 2 pivot, 3 Salem, 1 shake, 3 shallow cross, 3 slot cross, and finally we get a high number, and it's smash. We got 22 of those. And you got your full variety here. You got your classic smash and corner strike, just however you like to go about doing it. We got 4 spots, and we got those 2 Texas, but don't forget about that motion halfback swing angle route. It's the same thing, but you're just using pre-snap motion. But just notice what I said earlier. Not a big number of anything except curl with 10 and smash with 22. Let's talk about deep pass. So this is a run option, play action, heavy offense. So you're going to see some deep stuff built in here. We got 6 double posts. We got 9 floods. We got 12 comebacks. I love the comeback, killer against man especially, but it's got some good variety of route combinations here. We got 3 daggers. We got 2 divides. We got 13 verticals. That's pretty normal, most of these playbooks. We got 3 Portlands. We got 14 shot plays. It just kind of goes with those play actions and verticals we looked at earlier. We got 6 switch. He's got a little run and shoot in this thing. Not a ton, but it's just, 6 is still pretty decent. We even got reverse passes built in. Again, reverse is kind of a big deal in this playbook. And we got 4 wide cross, a little air raid. Play action, as we know, there's only 6 boots. Well, as we know, it's only going to show just a handful of play actions in this section, but we got 6 boots and 8 slides if you want to pull that tight end around. And then when it comes to the screens, we got 11 bubbles, 8 flanker screens, and 1 mid screen. But if you go over to your passing play types, go over here, you go to screen pass. We got 18 total screens. These are non-RPO based, so you throw all these in with all those RPOs we looked at earlier. And you got plenty of screens to choose from. I mean, different things. There's a tight end screen, a halfback screen, a wide receiver screen. But here's the play action. Here's what I wanted to show you. A lot of play action, 50 of them, wide variety. So what you're doing, you're running, you're doing your inside zone, your power, your counter, your G and T reads and leads options, and then you're doing play action off of this. I mean, that's a big number for a spread playbook. All right, so let's back out of here. I want to talk about the runs. We've already looked at some of these in different ways, but we got a bunch of inside handoffs, 15 outsides, which is actually kind of a high number, but they put these reverses in there. 3 pitches, 8 counters, 6 draws, 1 fullback run, and 13 QB runs. This is another thing I want to point out. A lot of QB runs. Now, some of this is out of the Wildcat. They're treating that halfback as a quarterback, but still, that's a really, really high number. So keep that in mind. He ran the QB a whole lot. Think Cam Newton back at Auburn, that kind of thing. Option, we've already looked at some of these, 21 of them, more reads than anything else, but you got some speeds and as well. And your RPOs, a decent amount of them. I was surprised. Again, 7 reads, 7 peaks, and 12 alerts. So this is kind of what you expect. It's the Gus Malzahn offense. It's spread, it's running option, it's going power, counter, and play action on top of that with some fun built into it. A lot of pre-snap motion, a lot of those reverses, a lot of QB runs. If you're into that combination of things, I think you'll really enjoy the offense. All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.